What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is May 3rd of 2022. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and in today's video, I want to go beyond just analyzing Bitcoin's price. I don't want to do mere TA here on the channel. In fact, I want to dive deeper into understanding what the market is really telling us, filtering out the noise, all the headlines, and yes, even the technical analysis and the data science models, which do hold value. I want to focus purely on what the market is thinking right now, because that is more telling than anything in the future, any predictions or any bets, okay? So stick with me. I think you guys are going to really like this video here today. Now, as you all know, I do like, if I have to pick from anything, I like to analyze price, because price can tell us a lot of things. And as you all know, I've been championing this narrative here that the market has been setting up higher lows and higher highs, which is generally indicative of optimism in the market. But to be fair here, we have seen Bitcoin come down from around $48,000 down here towards around $38,000, a $10,000 pullback for Bitcoin's price over the last month. And as we step into the month of May, I want to go a bit deeper than just analyzing that price. I want to see what the market is telling us here over the relative term. Because as of recent, really over this past week, people have gotten really concerned that we're going to see a flush in the market, that we're going to see some intense pullback in price. And I think it's pretty safe to say now that whether you're a holder or not right now, a lot of people are betting on the market going down. There is a very high degree of bearish sentiment right now, even if it's short term. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive into the subject for today's conversation. We're going to be diving into Bookmap. This is one of our favorite tools here on the channel. It's my second favorite tool alongside TradingView that I utilize when I want to go deeper than just analyzing price. Because what Bookmap really excels in, whether your time preference is short term like a day trader, or if you're more of a swing trader or long-term investor like myself, it can provide really beneficial market insights that you just simply can't get from TradingView. So just understanding the deep liquidity of bids and asks on the order book that will help serve as support and resistance for price. And on top of that as well, we get to understand a very important dynamic that will drive price upwards or lower over the long term and can be impacted by the order book. That is market order flow. Now, the indicator we utilize to understand market order flow is the CVD, the cumulative volume delta. You guys might have heard me talk about this on the channel before, but just for starters, let's go ahead and understand here again what I mean by market order flow. Let's just start from square one. So market order flow is people either buying or selling a given asset, let's just use Bitcoin in this example, at the best available price. So let's say most of you out there, when you interact with an exchange like Coinbase or Binance, whichever exchange you might use, it's all the same. If you are placing a market order where you have $1,000 and you want to go out there and buy $1,000 of Bitcoin at the best available price, you are market order buying. It's how the vast majority of people trade in markets. But on the other end of the stick, there is also someone who either has a bid or an ask. If you are market buying Bitcoin at the best available price, there is an ask order or a seller who's willing to sell you Bitcoin at the next best available price. And vice versa, if you're looking to market sell Bitcoin for cash, in this case, there's someone out there who's willing to buy your Bitcoin at the best available price. And that is what's known as a bid. These are two variations of order book orders, but you are filling one of them either by buying or selling. And that activity of taking the best available price, whether you're buying or selling, is what we would generally define as market order flow. Now, this is one of the two key dynamics that dictates where price is going to go. And if we see an intense amount more of buyers coming into the market for market orders versus selling at the best available price, right? So we have more people just taking Bitcoin at the best available price they can get. They're swarming in, they're buying a lot. Rather than a lot of people selling, right, we are generally going to start to see the dynamic set up for a move higher. Now, let's just go ahead and take a look here at the cumulative volume delta, which aims at measuring this to a certain degree. And what would you know here? Over the past couple days, while price has been relatively sideways here, we've been generally trending from this range of 38,400. We can see here that the underpinning of the cumulative volume delta here, the market order flow, is picking up steadily. We have a score here of 2,560 on the CVD. Now, Again, I want to emphasize two key points here. First off, this is incredibly positive to see. Over the past couple of trading days, to see the CVD smoothly trending up higher, it is indicative here that people are starting to accumulate. And if we take a look here at the volume dots here, all the while the chart might look very overwhelming, these volume dots are aimed at being a visual representation of this market order flow, whether or not people are majority selling or buying during these periods of time. And if we really just expand the volume dot size here, you can see how over time, whereas we had maybe more sell side activity, we're mainly getting buy side activity, and a lot of it at that. A lot more volume here. You can see the volume candles here at the bottom here on the chart. So we can see that there are a lot of buyers here. But the second point I want to drive here that some of you might be asking is, okay, Nick, we're seeing this pickup in the CVD. It should be as simple as price moving higher. Why aren't we seeing it? Well, it's not that simple. Okay, because this is one of the dynamics that is going to drive price either upwards or downwards. The next best available metric that we have that also plays a role in dictating price is the order book here on the right hand side. All the bids and all the asks in this case that are going to help shape the direction of Bitcoin's price. Because in order to get from $38,000 down to $34,000 or $30,000 like a lot of people are calling for, you're going to have to clear through all of these orders here. You're going to need someone to market dump thousands upon thousands of Bitcoin to get down to this range, which again, I don't want to say is completely out of the question, but is going to be very difficult to do. If someone randomly, sporadically starts to sell tens of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of Bitcoin, yeah, maybe we can get down there. But we haven't seen that really over the past few months. It's been relatively quiet, lack of volatility. It feels almost as if anyone who wanted to get out has gotten out of the market. But we are clearly seeing a lot of market order flow to the upside. And on top of that, when we take a look at the asks, people who are waiting to sell Bitcoin at a higher price, take a look at the width in this case, or the kind of thickness in this case of the order book versus that of the bids, right? Look at the asks here. Nowhere near as much as what we have on the bids here, right? You can see that to get up here towards, say, the equivalent, right, towards 4,400 here, going up another $6,000, right? We can see that we just need, roughly speaking, around 25,060 Bitcoin. And on top of that, if we were to see the same equivalent $6,000 decline, we would need in this case to be able to sell in towards 4,400 Bitcoin on the order book, roughly around that range here. So we can see here that it's a lot more difficult for price to really decline. We're going to need a lot more sold Bitcoin versus the amount of Bitcoin required to get up towards an expanded price of the same range. And this is a very important point to take away here, guys. We need to understand, in this case, the dynamics that market order flow, simple demand in this case to either buy or sell at the best available price, and how the order book will act as a degree of support or resistance. And when you have more bids on the order book than the asks, that is going to help favor price expansion long term. You find this a lot commonly because there is usually more people wanting to get exposure to assets when it comes towards Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies alike. Now, the really key thing here I want to talk about, and again emphasize here to visualize it, is take a look at the heat map here. This is showcasing how the order book changes over time. Now, all the while it does change sometimes. Sometimes it'll get heavier here when it's more red here. This means that there's more buyers who are coming at these levels here, right? When it fades out, there's a little bit less. You can see here, comparative to the noise here, right? We'll go ahead and just kind of highlight it here so you guys can see it in its full depth. You can see here that there are a lot more bids than asks. And this plays a critical role. Outside of the band of market makers here on the bids and the asks, you can really see that once that gets cleared, you're going to really be on a rally here where momentum gets to kick in. And we've seen this before. If you look at any of the recent breakouts for Bitcoin in regards to its price here over the past few months in 2022, it's been a 2 or 3 day rally where we really see Bitcoin get back up to that resistance range. And it's a question from there on out whether or not it can continue climbing higher, right? So the one big thing I want to emphasize to you guys here, if you really enjoy looking into these market insights like I do, it's again one of my favorite ways to analyze the market outside of price analysis and data science models. It's important to note that you need to have a full picture. you need to understand the deep liquidity here. And the problem is if you're just looking at Coinbase or Binance or whatever exchange you like to use, you're not able to see the aggregate order book. Now, what's really cool about Bookmap is that on their paid plans in this case, they even have it on some of the more affordable tiers in this case for everyday traders, you can get access to what they call multi-book. This is what we're looking at right now. We've got the Coinbase Pro pairs for Bitcoin, Ethereum here, but we're looking at the multi-book pair here because this pulls in Bitstamp, Bitfinex, Coinbase Pro, FTX, and Kraken. It gives us a big picture view of how the order book is looking across the exchanges. Because between arbitragers and all types of different market participants, we need to understand here whether or not there are generally more buyers or more sellers across the board. And the good news here is that there's a strong range of limit buys, right, or bids on the order book versus the asks. That is setting us up for a potential breakout higher. And on top of that, the market order flow here across the exchanges is looking good. This isn't just on Coinbase. This isn't just on FTX or Kraken or one exchange. It's across the board bullish right now. The bulls are in the lead and they are squeezing, clearing through those bids. And once we clear enough and we get enough of this momentum, things are going to start to charter higher big time. Now, of course, the trend could reverse here if we start to see market order flow changing. But we have to wait and see what the market's going to do here. The signs so far are looking optimistic. And this is, again, why I really emphasize, guys, not to trade or invest alongside the crowd. Cut out the emotions. Get signal from the market data. Filter out the noise, follow the signal, watch what the market is telling you. Because what's pretty incredible is that the market can't really hide how it's feeling. If we learn to listen to the market and read the signs, whether it be, in this case, naked trading, where we follow the lows and the highs in price and the general trend that price is signaling us, and we dive even deeper into the signal that the market is giving us with market volume and the order book, we start to get a clear picture as to where things could very well soon go. Anyways, that's it for today's video, guys. Quick short one here I wanted to dive into, but if you guys are interested in checking out Bookmap, I've got a link down below in the description. You guys can get 20% off your first month here. Again, can't recommend you guys enough. If you have the ability to, you can either use the free plan in this case, or you can sign up for one of the ones that will allow you to get multi-book, their liquidation tracker, all types of really cool tools here that are going to help you become a better investor and trade in the market and get better oversight here into what can be a pretty nerve-wracking market at the end of the day. All right, guys. Stay safe, trade smart, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.